Okay, so the difference quotient, let's define it up here. So it's defined as f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Now, the difference quotient is something that you're actually going to learn about in a calculus class. So it's actually what calculus is based off of. It's what helps you find the derivative. Now, we bring this in here first because we want to make sure that you understand and can do all of the algebra behind it. And then once you hit calculus, we bring in limits and we kind of take this up a notch where you're actually using it to evaluate things. So that's why we bring it into this class, is just getting it so that you can get that algebra part down. So let's look at another example. Find the simplified difference quotient of f for the following function. F of x equals negative 2x plus 1. All right, so I'm going to write out the difference quotient again. So you go to your function. You first want to figure out what f of x plus h is. So when I plug in x plus h, a lot of the times when I do this part, I actually do it kind of on the side here so that my function doesn't get so ugly with having this huge fraction. So let's figure out what f of x plus h is first. So that's negative 2 times x plus h plus 1, which gives me negative 2x minus 2h plus 1. So I just did this to the side here just to do a little bit of work. I boxed it off so that it's not showing that it's part of this formula for the difference quotient. Okay, so f of x plus h, I just found, is negative 2x minus 2h plus 1. And then I'm subtracting all of f of x, which is negative 2x plus 1. And then that whole thing is over h. All right, let's get this f of x out of parentheses. So we'll distribute this negative sign through. So negative times negative 2x gives us positive 2x. Minus 1 all over h. We can see what we can cancel out. We have a minus negative 2x and a positive 2x and a positive 1 and a negative 1. So that leaves me with negative 2h over h. H on top, h on bottom. So I'm left with just negative 2. Let's do it again. Now we'll do it for this function. So again, the difference quotient is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Okay, let's do our little thing to the side here. F of x plus h is going to give me negative 2 times x plus h squared minus 3 times x plus h plus 1. Okay, this is x plus h times x plus h. Okay, oops. So let's FOIL this out. So x times x is x squared, and then I get xh plus another xh, so plus 2 xh's plus h squared. All right, so now I can distribute this negative 2 through. So negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 1. Whew, that is ugly, but there's nothing we can simplify there. So again, I do this to the side just because, in my opinion, it's a lot less messier to figure out what f of x plus h is here than to actually figure it out when it's already in this fraction. All right, so plugging that output in. So f of x plus h is this, negative 2x squared minus 4xh minus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 1. Whew. So I've just written out that part. Now I have to subtract f of x. And again, it's all of f of x, so make sure that you put it in parentheses. And then that whole thing is over h. Take a deep breath. Know you can do it. So we'll rewrite this all, and I'm going to distribute this negative sign through. So negative 2xh, or negative 2x squared, minus 4xh, minus 2h squared, minus 3x, minus 3h, plus 1, and then I get positive, so plus 2x squared, plus 3x, minus 1. And that whole thing is over h. Let's see what we can cancel. I have a negative 2x squared and a positive 2x squared. I have a negative 3x and a positive 3x. I have a positive 1 and a negative 1. So that leaves me, in the numerator with a negative 4xh minus 2h squared minus 3h all over h. I'm going to factor an h out. And I'm left with negative 4x minus 2h minus 3 all over h. Cancel those. That gives me an n answer, I'm running out of room here, of negative 4x minus 2h minus 3. So this ugliness of that first step simplified to a much simpler answer. For more examples of the difference quotient, click here. And then if you're wanting more information about it and just kind of the background of it, where it comes from, how it relates to calculus, I talked about that a little bit in this video. But if you're wanting more, I really recommend clicking here, and it's a great website that just kind of explains its applications.